What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video, we're getting back into the Great League with Shadow, Scizor, Quagsire, and Licky over there. This was a very fun team to use, and what I found is that in my climb currently on my way to Veteran, as I just got my rating, so I'm in the 23-2400, that I found that there are a lot of Charmers out there, and the Shadow Scizor is able to handle those very well, especially with the Trailblaze attack boost, the potential boost from Night Slash, and the coverages it has on the Ghost, and a lot of the neutral damage. Quagsire and Licky, staples and solid. This team was a lot of fun, and it got me some really solid wins today, so I hope you guys enjoy. All right, getting into the first battle, we have Scizor on the lead versus a Shadow Fortress. So we'll have to see if this is the Bug Bite or the Volt Switch, and it is going to be Volt Switch. So this is going to be kind of crucial in some of these other matchups, especially against the Quagsire later on. But we're just going to go for a Night Slash right away, try to do some chip damage, and we do get a shield. And this tells me that they fear my Scizor a lot, and I can easily bring Licky into this matchup. Plus, I don't want to have to shield a Rock Tomb there. And Shadow Scizor, what I found on this team is that it is extremely important to get as much damage output from it as possible, unless you have perfect alignment in some situations and you know the team. Now, Swampert decides to come in. This is fine for Licky. We can go for those Shadow Balls right here. This does a decent amount of neutral damage, but with the Rock Tomb attack drop, it's not going to be doing as much, but we can still soften it up a bit. And with this 2-to-1 shield advantage, we're looking really strong in this situation. Charge move now coming through from the Swampert. This is going to be that Hydro Cannon. It's going to take down the Licky. And now we can come in with Quagsire right here. If we came in with Shadow Scizor, yes, we can do a lot of damage with the Bullet Punch, but with the Quagsire, we can at least soak a charge move if we need to, if this Aqua Tail and Mud Shot is not enough damage to take out the Swampert, because it's going to be extremely close. And as you guys can see, it gets down very low, and they are able to get that Hydro Cannon off. So we're going to go ahead and just let this next one go through. It is fine. Quagsire can soak that. And now we see that they do have a Fearow in the back. And Fearow is so interesting. I'm like, I haven't really seen it, so I'm not really sure what to expect right here. So I will give up a shield, as it is going to be Drill Peck. And then I go for Stone Edge. Now, I'm recognizing a potential win condition here. It's going to be my Quagsire to close this game out. So what I need to do is just load up on energy and try to swap into the Scizor, forcing them to throw energy here. And they do decide to throw, so that's perfectly fine by me. This is going to be the Drill Peck, but remember earlier that it is a Volt Switch Fortress, so I go for the Stone Edge here, knowing that that fast move coming through is not going to be able to trigger, so we will be able to, boom, one-shot it, and then the Volt Switch is not enough damage to take us out, and this Aqua Tail literally 1 HP and a dream. Doesn't get any better than that. Good game. That was a fun one. All right, moving into the next battle, we have Scizor on the lead versus Talonflame. Get out of there. Get out of there as quickly as possible into Licky, and we do draw out the Wigglytuff right here, which is fine. We can go for the Body Slam spam, but what we really need to do in this situation is try to get ourselves switch advantage if we can. Now, I don't want to get myself switch advantage if I have to give up 2 shields and be at a massive like 0-1 or 0-2 shield disadvantage, right? But what I want to do is try to force their hand. I let the Icy Wind go through, because my hope here is I know Body Slam is going to be doing less damage, but I should be able to get myself shield advantage or force that switch, which is what Quagsire needs to win this game. So this right here is where I think, I let the charm get through. This right here is where I think it can actually get the Body Slam off, and we do get switch advantage, which is huge. Now they come in with Morpeko right here, and this is obviously very dangerous. Morpeko can boom pretty hard. So we're going to be coming in with the Scizor, but I'm fully anticipating that they come in with Talonflame. Now I make a judgment call to actually sack my Scizor right here. It just gotta let it go, and we gotta trust in Quagsire to close this game out, because I need energy. I need a lot of energy. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot right here. It could be that Psychic Fangs, which would really be detrimental, but it's actually a Seed Bomb. I'm like, okay, all right, Seed Bomb. That was perfect. We did block that. And now we're going to look to go for Aqua Tail here. If this gets a shield, well, then we're definitely winning against the Talonflame. If it doesn't, then this is where things get very interesting because I need to manage my energy as best as I possibly can. So we're going to go ahead and throw the Aqua Tail. I could have gotten another mud shot there, I think. But we got to let this go. So it is going to be the Fly. If it was Brave Bird, so be it. But we go for Aqua Tail now. And this is where it's going to get a bit dicey. Our health is very low. Aqua Tail does land. They did let it go, so I could have gotten a Stone Edge there. So now we have to get 3 more Aqua Tails off, right? 2 for the shields and 1 for the knockout. So there's 1 shield. They're going to go ahead and do the Incinerate. So we're going to do 2 more Mud Shots and the throw on Aqua Tail. And now this is where things get very dicey because we have to go 1, 2, we get it. All right, so we are able to get it in time. So Quagsire, I mean, on this team, Quagsire was the anchor. It was the Pokemon that I trusted in to close games out for me, especially if I got rid of some of its hardest counters. All right, moving to the next battle, we have Scizor on the lead versus Alolan Sandslash. So this is a pretty good matchup with the Bullet Punch right here. As you can see, it's a considerable amount of damage. And they decided to swap into Feraligatr. So I'm going to try to get to this Trailblaze before they can get to the Hydro Cannon. Then I'm going to look to come in with that Licky Licky. This is going to give me that shield advantage setup. But unfortunately, the timing right there, they were able to get the Shadow Claws needed to get the Hydro Cannon. So I am going to be forced to shield. I now have to swap into Licky Licky. This is still okay because now instead of soaking more damage on the Licky Licky, I can actually come out of here with a lot more energy on the Licky Licky and try to have that Shadow Ball ready to go, right, for the Alolan Sandslash. So we're going to go for Shadow Ball here. It does connect, and now we can commit to the farm down, which is totally fine. They will be able to get a Hydro Cannon off, but it's not going to be enough to take us out. And this is actually better because the Alolan Sandslash now doesn't get a lot of energy from us. But I overtap. Oh, like, I'm making solid plays at the beginning, right? But I'm also making classic mistakes that we all have done in the past, right? And we're all not immune to making. And unfortunately, because I didn't get that Shadow Ball off right there, this is now going to force me to basically lose against this Ludicolo. Because as you guys will see, Ludicolo has Leaf Storm. Sorry to spoil the surprise, but I'm sure you guys all saw this coming. So unfortunately, that Shadow Ball was crucial for this game, and that's going to seal the deal for me. So I'm going to get boom. We do go down, and that is going to be a good battle to my opponent. All right, moving to the next one. We have Scizor on the lead versus Credilli. Now this is a matchup. This is really solid for us, and it obviously solid to keep the Quagsire away from it. So we are just going to Bullet Punch and Trailblaze. And we're going to send it right away. They're likely going to be Rock Tombing, so these are going to be counteracting each other, right? The Trailblaze boosts our attack, and then the Rock Tomb is going to lower it. So we're resetting, which is totally fine. I will invest a shield right here because there's still a lot that the Scizor can do in this game. I don't know what they have, but clearly I want to maintain a powerful position right here. And we do see a Gastrodon come in, so this is even better. I'm going to go for the Night Slash, knowing that they know I have the Trailblaze, so they're likely shielding, so I go for the Night Slash. And then I should be swapping here. This is kind of what I've learned with the Scizor, is I really should be keeping it alive, but I just let it go, and I don't get to the next Night Slash in time. So that's unfortunate. Licky Licky could easily handle this mid-game for me, but I should definitely try to keep that Scizor alive because, again, you want to get the most use out of it. There are so many teams that have Charmers in the back or they have Jellicent in the back. You can get a lot of utility out of that Pokemon if you keep it alive in situations just like that where we won the lead hard, we got pressure in the shield, and you can easily come into a neutral matchup there with the Licky Licky into the Gastrodon. Now, Quagsire here can go for Aqua Tails. This is just great. We're getting shields, and now I'm recognizing they don't like my Quagsire, so I'm going to swap into Licky now, soak this energy, and start loading up to see what they have in the back, and we find out that it is, in fact, a Clodsire. So this is still going to be good for us because we have quite a bit of health here on the Licky and energy. We still have our Quagsire alive, so that Aqua Tail at the end is going to come in clutch, and we have a 1-0 shield advantage. So we've positioned ourselves to do very well in this game, especially since our opponent on the lead just let the Credilli go down, right? That gave Quagsire free reign over this game, but they could have had a double grass, right? They could have had that ABA setup, which is why they could have made that decision, but in this situation it wasn't, and we just swap now into the Quagsire to get ahead on this Aqua Tail before they can throw the next charge move. It kind of catches them in a position where they can't do anything to fight back as Quagsire does go down, or the Clodsire goes down. And now we get to an Aqua Tail here against the Gastrodon, so that is going to be a good game, very well played. You guys can already see how these games are kind of playing out. The Shadow Scizor does incredibly well if you have a good lead and you got to bail out of there if it's bad, but Quagsire can close games for you. Good battle. All right, moving to the next one. We have Scizor on the lead versus Alolan Ninetales. This is what we love to see. This is what we're all about. We want to see those Charmers on the lead. They swap out right away into Jellicent, and this is even better. If you see the Ninetales or a Charmer lead and a Jellicent safe swap, this is like hook, line, and sinker outside of something so obscure in the back that potentially core breaks. But this right here is a solid position to be in. We can easily go for Shadow Balls. I could have also stayed in with the Scizor and gone for Night Slash, then bailed. That could have also been a play, but Shadow Ball here is just doing so much. And unfortunately for my opponent, I'm going to invest a shield right here because Licky with the rollout damage into the Ninetales plus the body slams. Look, I'm already at 2.5 body slams. You guys can see, like, there's going to be 3 body slams coming at this Ninetales, which means I'm forcing shields from them. They have to shield once, and they may want to shield twice. So we will see, but here comes the next body slam. And this, if you're in Alolan Ninetales right here in this position, you are so far behind. You can't fast move down. You have to throw energy. And I already just got a shield there, and I've got another body slam coming. And then you still have to deal with my Shadow Scizor that I still had from the lead, and my opponent recognizes that. And unfortunately, I think they turned off the game, as we will see that they are no longer tapping the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and farm down, and we will find out that my Shadow Scizor was huge in this game for me, which is why I decided to bring it, because I just was tired of Charm. And we will see that the Pokemon was Wigglytuff. So Shadow Scizor clearly into the Ninetales, Night Slash for the Jellicent, into the Wigglytuff. It could have potentially 1v3'd this team. You know, it's a good game. So I'm going to swap in, and we're just going to bullet punch down. And really loving the Shadow Scizor in this meta. Obviously, we got stuff out there like Typhlosion, like Talonflame, like Turtonator that you have to be afraid of, right? That fire damage. But in situations like that, man, that's what Scizor is all about. We got Shadow Hydreigon on the lead. These bullet punches are really putting in work. Now, Shadow Hydreigon can hit pretty hard. So we're obviously going to shield here, thinking it's the Brutal Swing. And it is. So we'll see what they decide to do. They decide to swap out into Corviknight. So I'm going to go for some chip damage here into Corviknight. I'm not being threatened by fast moves right here. Sand Attack is just not doing it. So we're going to go for the double chip and dip. Sorry. Now we swap into Licky. Because we had to give up a shield right there, I don't want to have to give up a shield in this situation in order to maintain switch advantage. Not that I really need it. The Shadow Hydreigon is so low, but I should be able to go for Shadow Ball here and knock it out. If Shadow Hydreigon decides to come back in, well, the rollout damage and a body slam is going to make quick work of it, right? But they decide to come in with Clodsire. So now we have all the pieces on the field that we know of. Shadow Hydreigon is out of energy, and it's low enough where Bullet Punch can farm it down, especially in a 1 shield full farm down situation. Clodsire in the back as well, going to be extremely weak to our Quagsire. We have the Aqua Tail, but they have a 1-2 shield advantage, so things are not over. Stone Edge connects, and now we come in with the Quagsire. I'm anticipating a swap, and I have to swap right away. And this is where I decide to invest this shield right here, because this Scizor is going to do. I mean, I could have saved it for Quagsire. I mean, realistically, looking at this, they wouldn't have gotten to another charge move. I would have gotten maybe 2 mud shots off right there to farm down. And then we have a shield, and, you know, it's good game. But we are able to chip it low enough now where Aqua Tail is going to be KOing. So now it's just a matter of getting to 3 Aqua Tails before they can get to 2 Earthquakes. So this is going to be kind of a tough situation, because obviously they could just have enough energy, but they don't. So this is going to be a good game. It's always fun having the face-off of this family, right? So you have a Wooper that could evolve into the Clodsire or into the Quagsire, and clearly one is a bit better than the other in this given matchup. So that's going to be a good game to my opponent. Yeah, good battle right there. All right, moving to the next one. We have Scizor on the lead versus Shadow Greninja. Now, obviously, I took a long break from this game, and Shadow Greninja was something I didn't know was a thing. And I'm like, I already know that Greninja is incredibly powerful with the Night Slash boost and the Hydro Cannon damage. I know it is a threat, it is a glass cannon. When you give it Shadow as well, woo, it's going to get a bit dicey there. But they do swap into Clodsire. And now I'm going to load back up on energy and then go into my own Quagsire here. I will be taking an Earthquake, most likely, right? There's no way they throw the Stone Edge here. Yeah, I do take the Earthquake. But I save that energy on the Scizor, which is what I desperately needed. Now we go for the Aqua Tail after overloading a little bit in case they decide to let it go, because I should be able to farm down now. Oh, but we don't get it in time. I thought I was going to get there, but it's always a game of inches here as they do connect, but it was just a Stone Edge. So still fine. I got what I wanted. I now have energy, and we do see the Greninja come in. So we're going for Aqua Tails here. They have to respect the Stone Edge, right? They have to respect it, so they will shield, but now we can get to a second one in time unless they throw. And this throw right here of energy is crucial for us, because now the Scizor is in a very good position to come back in, but they swap right away into Gourgeist, and you can see in my swipes, I'm like, I should have seen that come in. I could have thrown the Night Slash, right? I could have baited with Night Slash. That would have connected for super effective damage, but I also took that Incinerate right there. I should have played that better. The Seed Bomb does connect, but the thing about Licky Licky in this situation is it just doesn't care. Licky Licky is so good in the meta. And I think it's honestly a dynasty, right? Between Lickitung and Licky Licky over the last like 4 or 5 years have been a dynasty in Pokemon Go in the Great League. Lickitung was meta for so long. There was a brief like intermittence where it wasn't in there, and then Licky Licky now with the rollout Body Slam and Shadow Ball is just so good. And as you can see, I have the 1-0, and this Body Slam is going to be closing this game out. So good game to my opponent. They needed to get a lot of energy in order to win this one, but unfortunately, because they were forced to throw in the Quagsire, they weren't able to get that final double charge move in order to take me out. So good battle to my opponent. All right, moving into the next one. I love the hammer, by the way, the Tinkaton hammer. We have Scizor now on the lead versus Chestnut. Okay, so this is a Pokemon we really have to respect, right? We got the Frenzy Plant, grass damage we have to watch out on the Quagsire, and we have the superpower on the Lickitung, right? So we have to use our Scizor in this situation to win. Now, Night Slash and Trailblaze are both resisted, but the thing about Trailblaze is it gives us that attack boost. That's going to make our Bullet Punch do more damage. And I have to respect the superpower. They go for Frenzy Plant instead, and they swap into Shadow Drapion. Now, I'm at a 1-0 shield disadvantage, so I try to go for a chip here to try to force a shield. Plus, Bullet Punch is doing considerable amount of damage. We do get this shield, and I think this is Aqua Tail. My brain is like, yeah, okay, that's Aqua Tail. We can survive, but it's Crunch. That hurt. That hurt. I could have come into Quagsire relatively easily in this matchup. And, yeah. So, misplay on my end. Miscount, right? Like, it did too much damage. I wasn't anticipating that much. But that just also comes from a lack of playing Shadow Scizor into the meta. I mean, you know, from a Shadow Drapion into a Shadow Scizor, that's going to do a lot. But still, We don't get the farm down as well, so I'm forced. Oh, this is such a tough situation. I'm forced to call it, and I decide to shield, but it was just an Aqua Tail. And now I have to swap into Licky into a Chestnut, but they decide to go into Typhlosion. And this caught me off guard because I thought for sure I was going to get hit with a superpower. Like, I thought I threw this game, but my opponent decides to go for another Incinerate right there, and they just left the door wide open. So even though I made quite a few mistakes here, my opponent makes one key mistake and lets me come back, and now they are in a tough position where they have to get back-to-back charge moves in order to win this game, and it's just not going to be enough. Licky is going to be closing it here with the body slam, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played to my opponent. All right, let's see. We still got a few more left. I can't see the timeline when I'm watching this. All right, we got Altaria here on the lead. So Altaria, good Pokemon for us to be facing off against in terms of the fast moves right here, right? We resist the Dragon Breath, and Bullet Punch here is doing quite a lot. We can go straight for Night Slash, so it's doing that nice neutral damage and potential boost. We just have to obviously watch out for the Flamethrower. Sky Attack as well, but the Flamethrower is what you really need to watch out for. So now we're going to look to see if we can fully farm down, but I'm just like, my gut feeling is telling me it's going to get too close, so I decide to throw it early here and go for the Night Slash to knock him out. And we get no boost there, but we do see that an Annihilate comes in. So this is going to be a tough situation because Annihilate can obviously really get out of control with Rage Fist and close combat here. So I'm going to try to get to another Night Slash, but they decide to throw. And, I mean, it was a mistake on me of staying in, but I'll capitalize on them throwing, right? Throwing the charge move there. They could have farmed me down. But now we have a situation where I could just get one shot with close combat. So I'm gonna call the bait. It is just Rage Fist, which is fine. So I go for Aqua Tail here. We're just trying to put as much pressure down, right? At this point, an Annihilate in this position, and they decide to no shield. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have an opportunity. So I'm gonna go for the full farm down. I'm gonna shield here and go for the aggressive farm down with Mud Shot, hoping that I can get it. And I do get it, so I swap out right away into Licky. Why is that? Well, I don't know what they have in the back, and I could potentially, there is a world where I could potentially swap in and charge attack priority whatever was in the back. There is a potential, not in this situation, but you know what I mean. Like, I can't just blind throw, any fast move is going to take me out, but I could swap and click at the right time in the future. And unfortunately right here, obviously charge attack priority is going to be taking it. So they had double fighter in the back, and I was cooked. So good battle to my opponent. All right. Moving into the next one, we have Scizor on the lead versus Guzzlord. Okay, so this is going to be kind of a tough situation, this Guzzlord. We are resisting the Dragon Tail fast move, which is nice, but it does have Brutal Swing. And Brutal Swing is... it's annoying. It's because Shadow Scizor is so frail, it just can do such a good chunk that we decide now to swap into Licky and save all that stored energy in the back. I'm hoping there's something like a Jellicent in the back, right? And it's actually going to be Azumarill. Obviously, Jellicent won't swap into this situation. Azumarill does, but that's okay. We can just go for Shadow Balls right here. But yeah, my hope is that there's a Jellicent in the back, and then all those Night Slashes that are stored up are gonna come in clutch. That's what I'm hoping for right now. So we decide to let this go. It is just going to be the Ice Beam, which doesn't do that much damage, and we can easily now go for Shadow Ball and then look to see how close we are to the next, or how low they get, and see if we can get to the Shadow Ball in time, but we definitely don't. I thought maybe we could get maybe 2 more rollouts right there, but we don't. So Ice Beam is going to take us down. And now I got to come in with Scizor. I'm going to load up on Energy and then go for Trailblaze right here. Maybe could have gotten away with a complete farm down right there looking at the health. No, I couldn't have gotten a full farm down right there. But it's actually Dusknoir in the back. So we go for Night Slash, and this... I should have done another fast move on Azumarill, because as you guys are going to see, I have to swap out, but my Scizor is so low, It is so unbelievably low on health because of the Astonish damage. That Shadow Punch now, I have to respect. That's like the hardest hitting move left in the game. I'm not worried about a Brutal Swing. I'm worried about like a Shadow Punch, Dynamic Punch combination, right? Shadow Dusknoir is like no joke. That thing can put out some damage. So Brutal Swing does land. We're loading up on as much energy as possible. We have to go for Stone Edge here because Aqua Tail just isn't going to do it, and they have Brutal Swing, so they're going to get to it quickly. Stone Edge does connect. We go for Aqua Tail now against the Dusknoir, and this is where, right, my opponent decides to throw up, or they don't shield right here. We're going to try to go for the Aqua Tail, but we swap, and that's right there, right? You notice how I have Aqua Tail and Night Slash. I wish I could have, oh man. So good game to my opponent. I misplayed that, but yeah, Shadow Dusknoir. I wanna try that one again. That Pokemon's really fun. Pure, like, it's just great damage. So overall, team was really solid. I had fun. It did what I wanted it to do, which was really handle those Charmers, right, that we see in the meta. It's got the Trailblaze for the Mud Boys and all the water that we see, and it has that Night Slash for those key Ghost type Pokemon that are pretty common out there. So overall, I thought it was a super fun team. You guys saw what happens when you win lead, what happens when you have the most devastating lead, right? Those Talonflames, and how you can kind of rely on the Licky in the mid game to really get yourself an advantage, or the Quagsire to close things out for you. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoy. Like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.